Welcome to Colonize the Ocean podcast, where we discuss oceanic colonization, exploration, and education with your hosts Adam Jewell and Brendan Traxler.
Oh, hey there, big fella.
Hey.
And everybody else. Welcome to the Atlantic Sea Colony live stream. We're the only live stream that eventually, when we do this, we won't have UFOs above us that you can shoot down.
Hey, two quick questions for you. First off, it was the wrong countdown, but was it like lagging for anybody else?
No, wasn't for me anyways.
Well, anyway, it's the wrong one. I just deleted it because we're not going to use that one again anyway.
And second of all, you said first of all, you don't have a second of all?
Well, that was it.
Okay.
But to your point there, I've been thinking a lot about this whole shooting down stuff and the train wrecks and stuff like that, and the contaminated water and stuff like that. And living underwater solves all these issues. You won't have contaminated water. You don't have to worry about stuff floating over top of you. I mean, well, literally it will be floating over top of you, but it's not going to be doing all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, there's tons. I don't know. It just more.
And we all know from watching Signs that aliens don't like water. So
that, and plus, you can't EMP through water, so you're protected from that too. So you're not going to lose your electricity and all that kind of stuff.
We fact checked that.
Pretty darn sure I did one time. There's like a certain depth under. That's why you put like bomb shelters and stuff. Like it's preferred to have like water over it, because you can protect it from radiation.
Okay. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Anyway, I hope everybody's enjoying your Valentine's Day. I'm glad you guys are spending it with us.
Yes.
What more romantic thing could you do on Valentine's Day than just like tune into the?
There is nothing, because it's the sexiest thing going on tonight. I'll tell you that right now.
Here's the deal. It's just like, what else is going to get you in the mood besides us? Just viewing us on the Atlantic Sea Colony live stream.
The eye candy for the evening.
That's right, fellas and ladies, whatever. Anyways, we kind of have a little bit of a open forum for a little while today, and then maybe a guest.
So first off, I put it out there. We want to it's an open forum. Want to talk a little bit more about other people's designs and ideas out there, and I've got a couple that are actually active projects going on. But we can talk about other stuff too. But I didn't want to go down the rabbit trail of just people with artwork out there and different designs and stuff like that. And I wanted to keep it to current as well. So I've got a couple we can go through on there. But anyway, while we're waiting for other people to chime in here, I'm going to go ahead and get going with what we got going. So I made us a nice, pretty little slideshow for this evening because it's beautiful.
Love me a good slideshow.
That's what I'm talking about. Anyway, I figured we'd first start off with some of the different seasteading ones out there. And now, any of you guys out there in Discord land that are watching this, I know you're going to throw some fits and stuff like that. But hey,
no, we at least got Tom watching right now. I know that.
Well, you had your opportunity to send me designs and stuff like that for me to put it out here. So, no, I'm just kidding. But these are all active ones. First off is Ocean Builders, who is beyond active. They actually got stuff out in the water. You can check them out at oceanbuilders.com. They've got two different designs. They've got this bad boy right here, which they're finishing up right now, I believe. Even though this is the bigger of the two and like the more cool look one, the underbite on this one drives me a little nuts. But I really like it. I think that this isn't a final just because it's got a spar, it's got legs coming off, which you'll see in the second one, which is
the fact that like you are calling it an underbite, I think sets it up to where you're like, no wonder you don't like it because you're calling it an underbite.
Well, look at it. I mean, if you look at a side profile, it's like an underbite coming off.
It looks like me if I go sideways, is what you're trying to say. Like, because I have
anyway. But either way, it's cool. I'd live in it. But really, I like the looks of this one better, even though it's because I'm much more on a minimalistic aspect of things. And they've got this one available. I think you're going to be available to stay in this, like a Airbnb type of thing there in Panama here very soon. People have already started doing that. And then below, in the middle, there's going to be like underneath, it'll be an underwater room, which they're in the process of building that right now, I think. So you'll be able to go down there and just hang out down there. I think they've talked about having like coral off at the bottom and stuff, so they'll attract fish and everything. One of those little legs coming off has like we'll have like a hot tub in it. They've got so much tech in it as well as proposed for it. They're definitely the ones leading the way as far as all this goes.
Well, because this isn't I mean, hopefully people could tell, but this is an actual picture. This isn't a 3D render. Like this is this one's actually built in the water and out there. So very cool. Yeah.
And we've had, I say, 2-3 years ago, we had what was his name?
Chad Elward-Hosky?
Yeah, Chad. Yeah, we had a Chad on here who is very public with ocean builders back before they were anything what they are today. So yeah, very cool. The next up is Arctide. They're another one that we have talked to as well, in private here and there. Arctide.org. What they've got going on is basically it's a floating mount per se that's underneath there, but it's a lot of design and how the waves hit it and it stays stable with all the weight. All these different floating designs work very similar with a lot going on below the water, like an iceberg where 90% of it is under the water to counter any movement above the water. And so they do this similar with a lot of weight and a lot of mass under the water. But what they're proposing is you can add more and more of these on together and make a bigger area. But here just recently, they started talking about what they're really pushing forward, and it's this thing here. And I think they said it's 250 feet or meters across, I think is what it was. And that's really what they're focused on wanting to build. I just saw something online about that today. So that's kind of where they're pushing forward. Obviously, that's a little bit further down the road than what there is, but I know they have done some structural testing with scale models and stuff like that on this version here, showing how it does work and it's going to work. So once again, they're another one that's actively have designs and are beyond just the I have pretty pictures phase.
Right.
So then the last one I've got for the seasteading type of thing is ArcPad, not to be confused with Arctide. Is ArcPad at arcpad.co, and it's very similar design. And it's same thing. You've got the weighting underneath. I think their actual image depictions of their buildings I think are better looking in my opinion, but basically they both do the same thing where you add multiple modules together to build them out. All same as ArcTide. ArcPad, very similar. So yeah.
Yeah, I like their concept.
Yeah, I do too. And it goes back to what we like is the modular aspect of the thing that you can add on to it and you grow it. That's one of the things that I really like about it is it can be as big as you want it to be. You just keep on adding a module onto it and grow it. And same thing with, that's kind of what ArcTide was envisioning too with theirs too. But yeah, both their websites have some really cool diagrams of how waste reclamation works and all that kind of stuff. And they've really dove into a bunch of that stuff. And of course, a bunch of our Discord members have working on similar projects. And there are several other people I thought about throwing in here, but they don't have anything active that I know of out there that's anywhere near what these guys are doing. So I chose those three for the seasteading. When it comes to the ocean underwater, there's really only one person out there that has anything actively going right now that's new, and that's Michael Lombardi with oceanopportunity.com. And basically what he has is, this is his underwater habitat. I couldn't think of anybody that actually has any prototypes or anything else that has been made in the last few years, at least, besides him, which says a lot about where we're at with the ocean front. But what I thought was really cool about his designs too is you can pack them down. Obviously, it's not the same one. He's got different models, but you can pack it down in basically a suitcase and you can take it wherever you want to go, unpack the thing, drop it in the water, and you're good to go for diving. You can sleep in it if you get one of the bigger ones and stuff along those lines. So there's a lot of really cool aspects that he's got going on. I like the simplicity of it, if nothing else, and the fact that you can just take it and go. Obviously, it doesn't have all the creature comforts that you're going to want, and it's definitely designed for divers. You're going to be wet and stuff along those lines. But actually, he's doing something, and he's not just out there talking.
Well, it's you could kind of compare it to camping in a way. Like, I mean, a lot of times there's people that like have their like tents that they can just carry around and then like just rough it out wherever. And just like you said, yeah, you might not have all your creature comforts, but you do have technically have a shelter to, what Lombardi's got there is there could be dozens of uses for that I could see being practical. That, and I'm sure it's with a concept like that, it's simple and reproducible too. So it's right. It's a I see that being it's a win in the realm of underwater habitation, I guess you could say.
Yeah, and he's super active and very vocal about what he's doing and stuff like that. So he's out there all the time talking about
a lot.
And it was just in general. I mean, and stuff too. So he's a very knowledgeable guy.
Yep.
I like Babe's comment in here talking about the Arc Pad one, where just throw a dome over the big version and sink it. I guess technically you could, go buy one of those suckers, like, and close it and just sink the thing, and you can have your little underwater utopia there.
It would be an ideal, in a perfect world, an ideal way of manufacturing too, where you can just like, build your underwater habitat on the surface and then enclose it and then just sink it like right where in the spot where you need to. But probably not very practical. So
Babe's got a question here. Does Martin plan on doing anything else with the habitat they made, or is something bigger? Unless Martin's done something recently, they had not made anything yet. He just had a bunch of images and stuff. I need to get a hold of him. I haven't talked to him. I want to talk to him once this year so far. But unless he's done something recently, he's just had a bunch of designs and they were working on trying to get funding and stuff to get something made. That's why I thought about throwing him in there too. But at the same time, Dennis Chamberlain's in that same area as well, and I don't think he's got anything. So there's several people out there that are wanting to do something, but it's all about funding for a lot of us.
Same old story.
Yeah, same old song and dance. But anyway, so those were some of the really quick ones. We can talk about. So, like, Babe, since you're in here, you're throwing feedback out there. Do you have? It can give you a conglomeration of designs too. Ones that you like, either above or below the water, but trying to be realistic about the whole thing too, and not going too much on the sci-fi path of what is actually feasibly buildable within the next 5-10 years type of thing is how I'm looking at it. Because yes, we can have big domed underwater structures and all that kind of stuff eventually, but it's going to take us a while to get to that point in time. And even at that point in time, is that even make the most sense ever to do that? So that's why I kind of think of those big domed underwater habitats. Why is that? Where's the logic in that? Except for the pressure aspect of the whole thing. But even then, that's an awful lot of wasted real estate that you've got up in there that you're not doing anything with, unless you're using it for creating evaporation and then water and all that kind of stuff. But and to you too, Adam, Babe.
Yeah, when you call me Babe, it means something different.
Yeah, you too, Adam. Do you have something that you've seen out there as well? That's interesting too. And guys in Discord, I know that you're watching. You can chime in down there. We'll try to watch Discord if you don't want to post in here. Yeah. In fact, Tom over in Discord just commented about Seastead in a bag. So I think he was referring to Michael's.
Yeah.
But I guess reverse on that is, yeah, you tent. It'd be basically a glorified tent floating on the water.
And technically they do make something like that.
Yeah.
They have like these inflatable tents that you can just put out in the middle of like the lake or something like that, and it's like an inflatable platform with an inflatable canvas or tent over it, to where like technically you could go camp out in the middle of the lake. However, that's drastically different than that would, I guess, would be the equivalent of what he would be saying, like, seasteading in a bag, or like camping on the water is more so what that is, rather than seasteading.
Yeah, I think also it kind of depends on where you're at too. Are you in shallow waters? Are you in a cove? Are you open water, ocean too? Because a lot of that depends on what you can and can't do with a lot of these.
Right, you wouldn't want that in like rough water where like
no, no, you're so sick.
Yeah, or
if you made it.
Yeah, I think it's meant for those calm waters, those really the really nice days, no wind or nothing like that, and even then, like, I doubt you're going to stay overnight. I mean, maybe, but I would doubt that you'll actually stay out in the middle of a lake on that, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, and it's like with floating houses, float. Everybody, there's been houseboats and stuff for forever. Those aren't designed for deep water by any means either, but they're cool for the shallows, lakes, and other places like that too.
Yeah, you could have one like Riverside, or like on at your local lake, but you wouldn't want to like do the Florida to South America in a houseboat.
No, I mean, that's an adventure for you. Babe's got here. He's like, I was trying to wrap my mind around the possibility of a larger cylinder version of ASC, freight containers stacked inside and connected with stairwells or elevators. Basically a big underwater ASC mansion. It almost sounds like a bat cave type of thing, which, I'm all about that. But I could see that. But at that point in time, I mean, maybe, but I think that can like completely changes. I don't know. I think when we got, I don't know.
It would not be your would it be a mansion? Probably not. But the modular aspect of it, the amount of space you could have is pretty limitless. But I guess the difference between your typical on land mansion and what you would have down there is, in a mansion you could have huge open rooms and stuff. You know what I mean? Whereas like, at least current designs of what we have is all going to be like pretty simplistic, within the same range of size, but within, being able to connect to one another once we get to the modular aspect of it.
Yeah.
But you're not going to have you probably won't have a ballroom like underwater habitat.
And Babe's also got Hira, who's also one of the members in Discord. He had posted in Discord something he says, I was thinking about that as basically an oil platform on stilts, but upside down, floating underwater may be the best way to say it. I was reading that conversation earlier today, and I didn't exactly 100% get it, but I think I need to read back over it again and try to picture what you guys are talking about. Because what I had pictured wasn't that, but then I wasn't 100% sure either. So I'm not sure on that. Babe wants to know if there's not going to be a ballroom. He wants to see an underwater version of Beauty and the Beast.
Well, then you're just in Little Mermaid territory with that. But
no, that's a different movie.
But I'm saying Little Mermaid would be the one to show up in an underwater ballroom.
True.
I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, well. What I will say is, not since we're doing this every other week, in 2 weeks, which is the 21st, we will be doing another themed one, which is talking about phase 2 of ASC, which is the deeper water version, the one that Babe was just referring to there a little bit as well. And we'll be going deeper. We'll be going more entailed into what that looks like, what that is. We've shown that off before, but it'll just be an episode focused purely on that there. So that's what's coming up then. And for Babe, when is yours? Oh, yours is you still got a month before yours comes up, Babe. So you got a fair amount. Also, I'll do some plugs out there. One, let me pull it up. I've been asked to speak at. Let me make sure I get the name here right. It's it's the Lunar Development Conference. I'm not sure how big or anything this is, but it's in July. I think it is July 15th or 16th.
Is it a virtual one?
It'll be virtual.
Yep.
Virtual conference. So I'm doing that. Also, I am with the Seasteaders in their Discord here in about a month as well, I think. Check the date on that. And Tom over in Discord says, tonight's theme inspired me to design an underwater habitat tonight before the show. I'm not sure where this is going, but I would love to see Tom's designs. Anyway, yep. I'm not sure if he was joking or if he was being serious there or not. So that's why I'm saying.
Speaking
of serious,
a Discord, I was just looking the other day. We have like over 50 members so far, I think.
52.
There we go.
All those couples are bots. That's probably around 50.
I think when I counted, I didn't include the bots, but yeah, let's just say 50. So yeah, we have a small but growing community there, and it's been fun having those dialogues and conversations in there. As of one of the things that's new with this year, and we talked about on one of the last live streams, is that like you kind of overhauled the social media and like what gets posted, what kind of content is going out. Whereas like when I was doing it last year, I would post a lot of news articles and stuff that's relevant to the, like maybe underwater tech, maybe marine life news, stuff like that. But maybe didn't have a whole lot to do with underwater habitats. So, but is what I've been doing when I see those articles like that, I post them in our Discord. So if, people, that saw that stuff on social media and they're still interested in that stuff, join the Discords, because I put, if I see a news article that I think would interest people that are into that kind of thing, I put them into the, appropriate channels in Discord. Like if we talk about scuba tech, which we've talked a lot about, especially like submarine tech, we've had a lot of good discussions on there about that. Because the algorithms in my news feed still show me a lot of that kind of stuff, so I like to share it once the stuff comes up into Discord.
Yeah, I've been getting tons of stuff. I send me stuff all the time. It's like, well, we don't post that on there anymore, but it's still fascinating. Some of the stuff they talk about and information on there. So anyway, Tom just sent me. He was being serious. He sent me the image. So I'm going to show it off here in a second. I'm getting it formatted so we can put it on here so you guys can see what he says. It's modular. Let me get this. He sent me more. It's modular and stackable. So let me get these ready for you guys here. Kind of sorry for the dead space, the dead air, that is.
Dead space.
Yeah, the dead air. No.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Speaking of video games, I've been seeing that's another reason to join the Discord. I've been seeing, like, because as a gamer, I check out the Steam stuff a lot. There's been a lot more like underwater related games that have been coming out lately, and like especially like the city building type or the real time strategy games, which I'm just like, oh man, this is right up our alley. Like, you, Babe, and I, we there was a little bit there where we were playing Subnautica together that one night, and that was fun. But there's just like, it seems like I'm seeing more of those things now, and God, I want to see. I saw a video of some game coming up soon where it's kind of like an underwater exploration type game, similar to Subnautica. I'd have to find it again. I thought I sent it to you, probably not. But it's just kind of cool seeing the gaming industry going into that. And also, while I'm filling dead space, because my mind just keeps rolling here, you saw the new Avatar movie. What did you think?
It was good. It's been a while since I saw the first one, but I feel I enjoyed it more because it's actually in the water and stuff along those lines. So, I mean, visually is amazing. I mean, it was just like, I could not tell where the CGI and the real were different. It was just that well done. Was the water real? Was it CGI? I couldn't tell. It was just it was really good. So,
see, I don't hardly remember the first one, so it's just like, I think I might have to watch the first one again before I go see the second one.
Yeah. All right. So here's what Tom sent us.
Let's see it, Tom.
Ye old Discord. We got this. Yeah. And then so he says here's a stackable version where you can stack them like that, obviously. But it looks like it's about what?
Say 30 by 30.
Yeah, more or less. And about 10 foot tall, probably more or less too. 8 to 10, something like that. Yeah. And that's the thing is, once again, you stamp those out. What I like about it is it's repetitive. So from the building aspect is, yep. They use the same thing over and over again. And yeah, you could use, talking about Subnautica, this is pretty much stuff we built in Subnautica was like this, where it was just,
That's what my first thought was. I'm like, it looks like one of the Subnautica designs.
So yeah. Have a nice little elevator. And really, what it looks like is it exploded like the underwater room for ocean builders. It looks very similar to that, but a whole lot smaller and compact. They got big windows on it like that. It's round like that. So, and you enter it from the top through a stairwell. So it's very much reminiscent of that, I feel too. That was from, see, this is the stuff you find in our Discord is people like Tom and his ideas. And he's saying spiral staircase. Yep. But you could also, I guess, take a design, but you could throw like an elevator in there as well, because you'd almost have to do something like that, but not necessarily. Babe's got in here. It's like, it's good to see underwater movies that aren't killer shark thing. Avatar and Wakanda. I didn't see Wakanda Forever. Oh yeah, but I need to because of Atlantis and Namor. Yeah.
It's funny because I sent you a video, Brendan. I don't know if you ever watched it. I told you to add it to your bedtime playlist because I know you like to watch YouTube videos when you go to bed. But there's this video explaining like why people are so afraid of like the deep sea, like not just like your typical like coastal waters, but like when you get way out there and it's like hundreds of feet deep and all that, and like what kind of mysteries lie about there. And it was just a really interesting video, and it makes you think that there's just something in the human psyche, or like you're just born with it, that's like, so is it the fact that like it's so open that might give people like some hesitation, or is it the fact that you don't know what could technically be out there? Because I mean, as far as like marine biology and stuff, there's still so much to learn, which is both exciting and like terrifying depending on how you look at it, because you don't know anything. And I mean, the whole reason I'm thinking that is like, I think that's why it's so easy for people to make like horror video games or horror movies, because it's just like there's so much that in real life we don't know, so it's so easy to translate that to the underwater thing. Like you can't make a scary they're making that Cocaine Bear movie, but it's just like it's hard to make a good horror movie based off of a bear, because we know what a bear is. Bears are scary, bears can kill you, blah blah blah, but we know enough about bears. But it's just like there's still so much we don't know about, the deep ocean and stuff like that, to where it's like it's so easy to I could make something up about it, and it's like you can't necessarily prove me wrong because there's so much yet to be explored.
Right. And I'll say why I think it is, because the ocean terrifies me, which is, kind of odd, but especially above the wind, I'm looking at waves and stuff like that. I mean, I can instantly feel my chest like tensing up and heart rate raising. Even when I'm watching the videos online, like the video you sent me, I started watching. I was like, oh man, I don't know if I can do this type of thing. But I think with underwater, it's dark and it's cold and it's a mystery, and all those things come into things that as humans we normally don't gravitate towards. So when you're looking underwater, you're looking at a black abyss below you a lot of times. If you don't know what the bottom is, what's down there? You've gotten 100 years of sci-fi, fantasy, everything else, killer sharks, like baby, all the stuff down there that's in your mind, that's in the back of your mind, could possibly be down there. And the unknown is Cthulhu down there, is the Kraken down there. You just don't know. So there's all this stuff going on there. I think that adds to the mystery and the fear aspect of the thing. Obviously, knowledge often negates a bunch of that fear, but at the end of the day, I don't think there's always going to be something there. And it's like just like space. I mean, space is black, empty, and easy to die. There's just multiple ways you can die underwater versus in space right now. And there is an alien life form underwater that we don't know about or don't understand that can attack you versus in space. We not that we know of, at least, is there.
Right. We are AtlanticSeaColony.com. You guys know that. Go there to check out all of our social medias are there too. Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube channel, Discord link is there. We've said it a million times. Join the Discord. We have all kinds of great conversation going on in there, different aspects. And one of the things we talk about is tiny homes in there. So go ahead and join that the discussion as well. I always say Discord and then I just don't click the button. Anyways, real quick, we have AtlanticSeaColony.com/merch to get your cool merchandise that we have. Brendan should be sporting an Atlanta Sea Colony shirt, but he's picking Batman instead. Thanks, Brendan. No. We have a store there, a lot of cool products, the hats, the mugs, the cups, the beanies, the whatever. It's still chilly out there, guys, so you can get a hoodie and all that stuff right now. 2 ways you guys can help if you guys are willing to help. PayPal.me/Atlanta Sea Colony for a one-time donation. Any little bit helps. We appreciate that. Whether it's $5 or $5 million, we'll be happy with whatever you can help us out with. Or we have the Patreon if you want to do if you want to subscribe and donate on a monthly basis. Real quick shout out to our patrons. We had Edward Haas, Brian Acosta, Matthew Cathy, and Martin Reese and S. Babe Hyde. So thank you guys for that. Those donations help us, like I said, with a lot of our marketing stuff. That helps us get a lot of the graphics we've had done lately, the blueprints we've had going. It helps out so much to be able to further our plan here. So other than that, guys, I don't have anything else. If you guys want to stick around after the outro here, and then I'll end the broadcast, and I'll catch all you guys on the other side of this, and then we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. See ya.